And this project is to help the herders and the community to improve the resilience to the disaster. So in the last 3 and more years, their community was hit by several disasters. Because of this, many herders lost their lives and the livelihoods and the livestock. So it impacted the herders and community life and the economic of the community as well. That's why we, based on the previous 3 different projects, we had initiated the first stage, mostly to focus on the disaster risk reduction and to support the community and the herders. So within this project, we had several objectives, and the first objective is to improve and establish the effective partnership. So this partnership, within this partnership, we will form the working groups among the herders and the working group in the back level to monitor the herders, and also we will establish the working group at SOM and the ML level. So in the past, we realized that the partnership and the cooperation, coordination between the government and non-government agencies are very poor, not effective. That's why this objective was included in this project. So since the issue is for this community, everybody who is working and running their activities should be joined and worked for the same goal. That's why our number one objective is improve the partnership. And the second objective was to improve the capacity and the resource of the community. So we also visited on the previous 3 projects. We found that especially the herder community, they had very limited capacity and the resources, which made them very vulnerable, and that's why they experienced a big number of losses throughout this disaster period. So within this capacity, we will do the different level of activities. So the economic resilience is included, economic capacity, health, and educations. So most of the herders are also not educated or poorly educated, so they don't have, at least they don't know the basic livelihood approaches and the knowledges they are lack of. So in this area, the capacities, the knowledge level, capacity, the resource level, we will try to highlight it with the community. So also we found that from the government side, there is almost no resources which will support the herder community or the community at any disaster time. So the government mostly doesn't have the money. Also, that's why they experienced the big loss as well in the last 3 years. That's why we are aiming to form some hay planting project. So so partnering with the government, so that anytime there will be the haze and herders be prepared for the herders. Anybody living in that community can have access in those difficult times, and also some food reserves, such as the community resource we will work. Also, one of the biggest issue we highlight that there is a big water and sanitation issue in the community. So the lack of water sources, that's why they use the snow or they use the ice, which is not healthy for the living. So we will have some water well established, dig the water well together with the government to provide the healthy waters and safe lives for the herders. So next outcome is the economic resilience itself. So the livestock, they only dependent on the herders. Their life is only dependent on the livestock. So when they lose their livestock, there is no other livelihood resources for there. So automatically it pushes them to the poorest of the poor, group, which is the most vulnerable one. That's why we want them to have the knowledge and the skill to have the different livelihood experiences, and then we will encourage the herders to initiate their project. Once they establish the groups, they can initiate different projects based on their skills and experiences and the resources. They can initiate the project, so we will support. World Vision will be happy to support those projects and monitor it, and so that they will have some different livelihood resources such as gardening and or sewing, making the Mongolian traditional costumes or the boots. So also we will help with them marketing, extending their marketing to the other community or to the other provinces. That is the third objective. Also we want the herders to have some saving, and we want them to learn some saving habits. So in the previous projects, we found that almost 98% of the total herders, they depend on the bank loan, had no saving. So when their life is hindered by the disaster, their life is in worst situation. It raises their stresses and burnouts, and it later fall off with some serious sicknesses and health problems. So in order to avoid that, we want them to have some bank savings for their life, so which can help them also to use during those disaster times and difficult times. So the fourth objective of the project is the climate change. So in the last 20 years, not only in Mongolia, worldwide, there is a big issue about the climate change, especially the warmth and the different events changed to that. So the modern herders are very young generation. They don't know how to adapt with this new climates, new weather changes. So we want to help them to have at least the basic understanding, the basic knowledge, so that they can be able to face the new challenges of the climate changes. So when we implement this project, we will fully partner with the government, other NGOs and other international organizations working in this community. So there will be a provincial working group will be established. So after this opening ceremony, so that team will develop their plan for 3 years, and then within this community we will try to find out all the resources. Whoever can provide any work or any skill in this area, we will be happy to partner. So the other non-existing resources we will be bring from the other provinces or from the other NGOs or from UB Ulaanbaatar city. So we are very much looking forward to see this project to be very successful project. So this is very much post disaster risk reduction project, especially for the herders and for World Vision Mongolia and for this community. So at the end, this all these groups will have some disaster preparedness, community-based preparedness plan. They will be able to know how to assess the risks and the possible disasters, things like that. So this will improve a lot of resilience and improve the capacities of the whole community.